It is very tough times. I hear it all the time. See how people are really moving through this. And I think one of the things that I hear, and let me know if you're kind of in the same boat, is people are trying to figure out how can we utilize something like AI to help us,
Hmm.
and not just replace our individuals, but really help us continue to scale without having to build our overhead as much. So we're not letting anybody go, but we're just putting things in place that allows us to do more of the things we love, less of the things we don't like. Are you guys in that same boat?
We do use AI. It definitely saves time on taking minutes in meetings. We use
I love
Teams
that.
and Zoom meetings to just reduce the amount of time to drive in for a meeting. We are as we can beginning to implement some AI and some technology.
Yeah, no, it definitely, as you mentioned, those note takers in meetings is always the best. For the nonprofit that I run, I told the secretary, there's no need for you to take any notes anymore. Just turn on the note taker, and then we can just compile all that, and just it's easier, right? You get really involved into the conversations. So it's pretty cool that we are in the space of AI, and you guys are kind of, I would say, touching the surface on what it actually looks like to really move forward. And is there anything as you continue to move forward that really surprised you about the CEO role? I know you said you were doing it before, but what are some of the things that kind of surprised you as you moved up the ladder?
I think one thing that's surprising, and it probably shouldn't be, is just the enormity of Clearbrook. In my prior role, I worked within one program of Clearbrook, and now I oversee all of the programs. And so it's a very large place, and it's a great thing because we're serving a lot of
Hmm.
people. Um, but in other regards, it's kind of balancing the needs of everybody, the staff, the families, the individuals, and at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, is this right for Clearbrook? And if I can say yes, then it's something that I'll do.
I you'll be doing this for life. I can only imagine. You're already, 20 plus years in here. But if you can actually go back and speak to some of these young individuals that want to be into this space, because Jessica, I always feel that we need to tell our young leaders about the space of nonprofits. So much great, and we actually laughed about it last time. That listen, when you come into a nonprofit, we want everything. We don't want just you to just check this box. Do all your creativities that you want, take whatever roles you want, wear as many hats as you need into the nonprofit world. And in reality, while maybe it's not the biggest paychecks, the ROI is really just the way you feel after you're
Hmm.
helping some of these families in need, right? It's the passion, it's the purpose
Yeah.
that really allows you to fill your cup. Can we talk to those? Why is this so important to be into these spaces where families are really being impacted by just us showing up and being their voice?
Yeah, I think for me, it goes back to my first job experiences and feeling maybe not valued, feeling unhappy, maybe not understanding what the end goal was, or maybe not wanting to be part of that end goal. And so, from the moment that I walked into Markland, which was the first agency I went to and interviewed at, I just had this feeling like I need to be here. But I think it's because I was with like-minded individuals, compassionate, mission-driven, and at that moment, yes, I was going to make less money, but I was okay with that because I feel like I gained so much more than the financial aspect. And of course, we all have bills to pay, and we need to eat and support our families. But I think something that I really considered: could am I okay with less of something to have more fulfillment in my work life? And the answer was yes. And I can't imagine ever doing anything else but this.
I love that. What do you think the 22-year-old, young you would think about this nonprofit work and where how far you've come into this space? Off a newspaper ad, yeah, I would say even before that you're already inside the work, but this is years coming where you didn't know, that you were into this dark tunnel and knew that there was something on the other side, but did not know.
Yeah.
What do you tell that 22-year-old
I was
thinking
thinking
about
about
all this?
this last night, quite honestly, and I could share personally. I was particularly close with my maternal grandparents, particularly my grandfather, and he was a hard worker. He valued education. He helped me go to college. Both just emotional support and financial support. And when I graduated, he said, "The only thing I want from you is I want you to help somebody else." And that is very much the spirit of my grandfather. And I think about that often because I, I'm doing that, and he passed many years ago, but I think he would be delighted to have been able to come to Clearbrook and see what we do here. And again, I feel like I'm repaying to the next person, whoever that may be, the help that I got when I needed it.
Yeah, because in reality, we're planting seeds. Sometimes don't even know how far they grow. But if we could just plant that seed, we know we've done our job. In hopes that other organizations, other people continue to just water those seeds that we've planted. And as you mentioned, just doing the what your grandfather always mentioned. I actually spoke to another leader recently, and before his mother-in-law passed, he was in this place of just kind of data and like IT, and she just couldn't stand that job that he did. And before she passed away, she says, I just pray that one day you'll do work where you actually help people. And she passed away, unfortunately. And he got into the hospice space. And he's like, man, I took a pay cut. I got very uncomfortable. I left corporate world, and that's more than anything. He said, I left corporate world that I was new for 20 some years to go and actually start my own business around hospice. He says, and she would have been so happy. And it is that. It is truly helping people. Like if we just had more people in the world, just be kind and have empathy, and do the work that you do, Jessica, like we're in a better
For
place.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell
I
you
love
every
this.
day when I come home from work, if I've had the opportunity to spend time with the individuals that we serve, which I love to do, and I don't always get to do it every day. The minute my husband comes in, he'll be like, "You were with the individuals today." Like he can just see it.